Greetings and welcome to the energy of Pisces. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Welcome to the channel. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will, okay? The 12th house is open, and this is the house of dissolving, dissolution, um, as well as confinement, places of worship, transcendence, moksha, liberation of the soul, the gateway into other dimensions, and the theme of ascension. We'll go ahead and begin with a small reading of karma for the energy of Pisces in the 12th house. Okay. There are many forms of detachment. One type of detachment is the kind that is averted. It's negatively attributed to something that is naturally repulsive, something that causes some form of stimulation or an effect. Okay, um, the effect may be toxic in some sort of respect. Um, this also has to do with products of the mind and essentially being over an experience, one that wasn't so pleasant, signifies at the end of thought, detachment from a flow of thoughts, and this is a good thing. There's an ability for you to really be at peace with oneself, and you're working towards the energy of Pisces, the 12th house, is working towards some sort of closure in order to begin anew with freshness, okay? Um, Part of you, or part of the energy of Pisces, is essentially observing the past, and there's something about a past with someone or something that's a beautiful spider, baby daddy leg. There's something that you can do when it comes to a way of doing things in the past, way of thinking, way of learning from looking to the past, in which you feel at ease. There's an ability for you to justly find a sense of balance with others from the past. As you move forward, tension is being released, okay? I see nothing but good, at least in terms of energies for Pisces and karma. Okay, you're on the path, a very good path. We're going to move into the Great Mirror reading. Okay, this is a very powerful reading that is designed by the Order in order to see apparent karmas that exist between the energy of Pisces and the 12th house, the energy also of Jupiter, which has a really good placement of the energy of Pisces. Not exaltation, but I would say a good placement. So I'm going to be focusing on that. Yeah. It is a traditional ruler, though, at least in Vedic terms. Um, Jupiter and Pisces have affinity because Jupiter and the energy of Sagittarius, it reaches out to find the path to the infinite, and Pisces is the infinite. It's the abstract. It's also something that Jupiter tries to attain. The 12th house is open. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so far this speaks of essentially coming into a point where you can become a student to a certain extent of what a student of the South and North Node, which is interesting because the South and North Node are always in retrograde. The energy of Pisces is strong here, the 12th house is here, but it's in a type of reversal, okay? Meaning that the abstract no longer is abstract. There's a sense of clarity. There's a sense of understanding and stability in terms of um, the complexion of, and the desire and the illusory effect of the North and the South node, okay? And becoming based, becoming extremely based, okay? This has to do with essentially coming into the sense of the root of things, okay? This is the energy of Swati. This is the energy of entanglement, but understanding in its most basic forms, ancestry, and a sense of lineage, okay? A sense of hierarchy within the foundations of things, coming down to the very roots of the matter, okay? This is very deep, but it's also deeply edifying. It gives a sense of grounding, okay? You're dealing with someone here, you may be dealing with someone here that represents a type of devotion to detail and then letting loose this. So there's an ability to dig into the earth, to find what makes the depth and what makes the sort of roots of a certain thing. This person is good at doing that, and they're doing that. They're doing this now, something that has to revolve around the mind, which is also based on a system of roots that resemble neurons. Okay, and coming into the understanding of the mind by analysis. Okay, this requires a great deal of isolation, but they're concerned with the type of connection that you may share with them. So there's something about them going very deeply within to be devoted to understanding a connection with another, okay? This is on a conscious level. So consciously they're going deeper into the subconscious to understand neurological complexities that are embedded there, that are rooted there, okay? I think they don't want to do this, but they are. That's the thing. Deep down inside, this situation resembles a type of prosperity or a type of foundation, something that roots them, okay? But perhaps it's difficult for them to make sense of it, and requires a great deal of time to go deeper into it. They don't want this, they don't want to do this. They would rather live in ignorance of the connection for some reason. We can look deeper into it. There also is something about you that is activated. Lots of Mercury going through, and Mercury is the mind, its intelligence, its intellect. Not intelligence of a higher order as, say, Sagittarius would be, but the third house certainly is the realm of intellect, which is the capacity to understand the the finiteness and the complexity of a lightning bolt, of a root. Okay, and in its many forms, this root takes different paths, and it splits, and it constantly forks. Okay, much like lightning. Um, and in this, there's an understanding of where the entanglement meets and where it grabs hold, right? These are knots, these are karmic in nature, of course. I mean, everything is karma, but it's based on pathwork and variance, degree, how deep, also is the question. With the card of marriage, or the lovers here, the Hierophant stands out, okay? And with the Hierophant, there's the energy of Brihaspati, the energy of Jupiter, okay? The energy of Pushya as well, which is tied to Brihaspati and the energy of Jupiter. Pushya talks about nurturing, okay? There's something that is being nurtured here that pertains to the self and also pertains to the mind, or pertains to a sense of brotherhood or affinity when it comes to immediate connections and how they are substantiated in the 3D, in the third dimension. With this, there is a great deal of trying to understand how the knot has formed, and how one can be aware of this, at least on a conscious level. This gives a sense of fulfillment when it pertains to, especially the energy of Pushya, which is the energy of Cancer. Okay, it's a nakshatra of the moon, one of the lunar mansions that ties to the centrality of Cancer, which is primarily moving towards moksha, moving towards the triplicity of water, the trikona of water, which is essentially the idea of becoming more distant, becoming mysterious to the point of mysticism. Okay, this has to do with the path towards liberation. Okay, the thing is that both of you are consciously looking into the self to free each other from such a connection, but this connection has such a hold. Um, I think both of you are aware of this. Now, with all of this going on, there is the energy of Mercury that is grounded yet lifted through the house of the third, the house of the sixth. So what emerges out of it is a movement to the ninth house. 3 and 6 make 9. Okay, which is tied to the energy of Jupiter. Also, once again, tied to the energy of Pushya. Okay, which is ruled by, I believe, to be the auspices of Jupiter. I could be mistaken. But if that is so, there is a possibility of elevation, okay, of freedom, respect of the lessons that are to be had here, the dharma of it all, the pathwork, okay? So it's all very, astrologically speaking at least, very psychedelic, but also, it's as if you're on a trip and you're trying to understand essentially which part you're at and how far you've gone down the mapping of a lightning bolt, of a root. Okay, and lightning bolts and roots, they go fundamentally from the above to the below. Okay, but there is a sense of projective nature emerging out of it within the mirror that that is on the path towards freedom. Um, on the soul level, the energy of Cancer is strong here on the south node with the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, a conjunction between Mercury and Moon, making the inner self known. Very strong here. through the domain of Taurus primarily, but then also with the complexion of Cancer. Okay, so that's the second and fourth houses, okay, um, which can be added, summed up to the sixth house: devotion, self devotion, understanding one's path, okay, where they come from, where they have the most stored up in terms of karmic resonance, okay, coming from a past life, knowing that there's something about the situation that is striking, that causes oneself to be more inward, to focus in on where one is coming from. Okay, it's as if, excuse me, you are looking at the heavens, and there's a descent down. You're trying to understand where you're coming from. Mm. It gives a sense of wholeness, good health, this whole journey, and that is a good thing. Yeah, we're also looking at once again the foundation here, but I think there's something deeper about this, some sort of awakening that occurs with the conjunction of Mercury and Moon on an ecliptic, tied to the energy of Jupiter, Cancer, exaltation in Jupiter, South Node in either Cancer or Taurus. Okay, now with these nodes, there is the realm of fixity, okay, that is Taurus energy, projecting out towards Scorpio, but also the South Node in Cancer, which moves from the 4th house to the 10th house, cardinal energy, trying to understand realities and spiritual resonances within realities and synchronicities, the crossing, synchronicity, basically the crossing of different paths. Okay, that that it's like a representation of alternate realities or dimensions that cross, regardless of time and space. Usually, one precedes the other in terms of semblances, resonances, likenesses, similitudes. Okay. Okay, interesting. So this is all moving in terms of the mirror from the 4 to the 8 of Cups. Okay. Now this indicates lots of Cancer energy, but also detachment through Pisces energy in the 4. Okay. Usually 4 symbolizes Cancer energy, the 4th house, for example. 8th house usually indicates Scorpio energy, which is the 8th house. It has to do with secrets. It has to do with the secret path, the occult. These two share energies in the movement of 4 into 8 into 12. Yes, the addition, it leads to a type of dissolution that may be present, at least within the mirror. Strong emotional undertone here, spiritual inclinations, okay, that have to do with Dharma, the path of water, and foundations that are based on devotion, but also knowing the other and being distant from the other as a separate entity is here. What is this leading up to? Okay, interesting. Clarity, truth, but this truth is somewhat artificial. Something about them. They don't want to know about this path to liberation. Okay, Cancer energy strong here. 4 again, the 69 Cancer and the 4. Okay, this talks about, and I've never actually seen the water bearer in this respect. So usually, I see Pisces in this, or Aquarius, and essentially there's a realm of purgation, and release through this particular water bearer in the star card. Okay. So this talks about influence, being under the influence, letting loose, and essentially letting loose a lot of water energy, okay, in order to either be rid of a path or fertilize the earth in some respect, okay. There's something about this talking about fertilization, connectivity with the other, fertilizing, but then also using the element of water in the Two of Cups. That is, it's divisional in this. We have a fourth division of the Two of Cups here, and a second division of the Two of Cups here. There's something about this connection that talks about great detachment after an extreme entanglement of two different souls, two different mercurial minds that have united in an ambiguous form to create something, okay, to create a path or similar paths that cross, okay. There's a sense of synchronicity in all of this, but then also a need to be ignorant, or at least to let loose. Let loose. What emerges out of this is a sense of artificial sort of truth, okay? Truth that is synthesized in order to no longer think about the connection, to truly embrace where the water flows, and to, in like the Tao, to go with it, okay? And usually water, it ends up either in one of two places. I mean, as it crosses the earth after descending from the sky, gravity pulls it down, and then it ends up in a number of river systems or streams that eventually go back to the great 12th house, to the ocean, okay? So perhaps this is something of a very deep spiritual connection, okay, that we can look deeper into in the extended. If you would like that extended, it will be available. You would have to email me for it. I do thank you for anything that sustains the work here in terms of donations. They are very greatly accepted, and people have been sending in. And I would like to give my hats off to those people who are donors for the work of the Order of the Twin Sun. We'll look deeper into it. I do appreciate you. Thank you. Bye-bye.